Hello everyone, welcome back to Bioholic channel. I am your Monday educator Urpita Vishwas and today I am going to discuss about the 3A part of the digestive system, which is the physiological activities in stomach. So guys, let's start. The physiological activities in stomach can be discussed in many points. Those are the functional anatomy of stomach, the physiology of gastric secretion, the physiology of gastric motility, and the functions of stomach and the applied aspects. Today I am going to discuss about the two parts, the functional anatomy and the physiology of gastric secretion. Now the functional anatomy. The stomach is a J-shaped hollow muscular bag which is connected to the esophagus at its upper end and to the duodenum at the lower end. The gastric part is connected to the esophagus through the esophageal sphincter present here, and it is connected with the duodenum through the pyloric sphincter area. There are many parts of stomach, mainly 5 parts, which are the cardiaca, the fundus, the serosa or the serosa part, the body, the pyloric antrum area and the pyloric canal. There is a very much muscular layer present in the stomach. I will discuss it later. There is a presence of finger-like projections in the area of mucosa of stomach, which are called as rugae. And there is mainly 2 parts. Number 1 is the greater curvature area and number 2 is the lesser curvature area. Now the structural characteristics or histological features. Stomach has mainly 3 layers: the mucosa, which are the surface epithelium, lamina propria and muscularis mucosa. The second one is the submucosa, third one is the muscular externa, and fourth one is the serosa. There is a special type of cell present in the mucosal layer. Those are the parietal cells and chief cells. The function of those cells will be discussed later. There is presence of gastric pit and gastric gland in the rugae area present in the stomach. And the muscularis part have 3 layers: the oblique layer, the circular layer and the longitudinal layer. Now let's move on to the innervation of stomach. It is as same as the case of mouth. These have 2 types of innervation, the intrinsic and the extrinsic. Intrinsic have myenteric plexus and the Meissner plexus, and extrinsic have the sympathetic innervation and the parasympathetic innervation. So that's what all was about the functional anatomy of the stomach. Now let's move on to the secretion of stomach. There are 2 types of secretion: the exocrine secretion, which is gastric juice, and the endocrine secretion, which are the gastric hormones. The gastric juice composition, it has 99.45% of water and 0.55% of solids, which include electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium and chloride ions, enzymes like pepsin, gastric lipase, mucin, etc., and some intrinsic factors. Now let's move on to the secretion of mucus. The mucus is of two types. The soluble mucus, the mucus cells are present on the pylorus, and the insoluble type, the mucus cells present on the gastric mucosa. This secretion is increased by rough food presence. Second one is this secretion of intrinsic factor. The intrinsic factors are glycoprotein in type, and those are secreted by the parietal cells, and this secretion is controlled by histamine and CAMP cycle. It helps mainly in the absorption of the vitamin B12. If decreased, this causes pernicious anemia. Now the secretion of HCl is a most important topic. The HCl is secreted through the parietal cells or oxyntic cells present in the stomach. They have a complex network of intracellular canaliculi through which HCl is secreted. Gastric glands secrete about 2.5 liters of HCl in a day. This HCl is secreted by the gastric gland, and it is concentrated, having a pH approximately 1. The gastric HCl dissociates completely into H+ and Cl- ion later. Now let's move on to the secretion of HCls. Here you can clearly see the parietal cells, the gastric lumen, the interstitial fluid, and the mucous cell presence. In the parietal cells, the CO2 and H2O converts to HCO3- and H+ ion by the action of carbonic anhydrase. And then the H+ moves to the gastric lumen with the help of potassium moving inwards to the parietal cell. And the HCO3- moves toward the interstitial fluid in conversion to the chloride ion. And this chloride ion is then transferred to the gastric lumen. And through some ATPase action, the potassium moves to the parietal cell, and the sodium moves outward to the interstitial fluid. And this causes increase in the potassium concentration in the parietal cell, and to decrease it, a pump moves outward to the interstitial fluid. Then the H+ ion and the Cl- ion forms the hydrochloric acid in the gastric lumen. Now the last secretion, the secretion of pepsinogen. The chief cells and the pyloric gland secretes pepsinogen 1 and pepsinogen 2, which are converted to pepsin with the help of hydrochloric acid. These pepsin are stored in zymogen granules and is secreted through the vagal stimulation, gastrin, and histamine stimulation. Now let us talk about the neural secretion, neural control of this secretion. The vagus nerve controls the itch. The vagus nerve innervates to the ECL cell, the G cell, and the D cell present in the stomach. Positive feedback is sent to the ECL and G cell, and negative feedback is sent to the D cell. The ECL secrete histamine, which sends positive feedback to the parietal cell to secrete HCl. G cell secrete gastrin, which sends positive feedback to the parietal cell to increase the HCl secretion, and D cell sends negative feedback through secretion of somatostatin hormone to the parietal cell, and this decreases the secretion of HCl in turn. And D cell also sends negative feedback to the G cell to decrease the secretion of the amount of gastrin. Now the chemical control of this secretion. From the ECL cell, the histamine is released and that is bind to the H2 receptor of the parietal cell, and this helps in conversion of adenylate cyclase, and this adenylate cyclase helps in conversion from G1 to GS. This GS converts ATP to CAMP, and this CAMP causes increase in the HCl secretion, H+ secretion. The somatostatin acts on the adenylate cyclase as negative feedback and decreases the CAMP level, but the prostaglandin and the EGF helps in secretion of the H+ with the increase in the CAMP level. In other hand, the acetylcholine binds to the M3 receptor, which in turn opens the calcium channel, and the gastrin also binds with the CCK beta receptor that forms IP3 and also causes opening of calcium channel and increase of calcium level in the parietal cell. And this increased level of calcium increases the pKa conversion, and that helps formation of H+ ion and increases HCl secretion. Now let us talk about the phases of gastric secretion and their regulations. The phases are three types: the cephalic phase, the gastric phase, and the intestinal phase. Now let us talk about the cephalic phase. Sight or thought of food or stimulation of taste or smell receptor causes activation of cerebral cortex and hypothalamus and medulla oblongata. That sends signals through the vagus nerve and stimulates stomach secretory activity. This causes loss of appetite depression, and this is sent to the cerebral cortex that causes lack of stimulation to parasympathetic center and in turn inhibits stomach secretory activity. Now the second one is the gastric phase. The stomach distension activates stress receptor, and the food chemicals rising pH activates chemoreceptors. This signal sends to the vagovagal reflex. This vagovagal is then sending to the medulla and the vagus nerve. The local reflexes also are activated. This also send stimulation to the vagus nerve. And the food chemicals activates the G cell, which secrete gastrin, and this also causes increase in the stomach secretory activity. And in other hand, excessive acidity in stomach and emotional distress causes gastric secretion in decline, and the emotional distress causes sympathetic nervous system activation that overrides the parasympathetic control and in turn causes inhibition of stomach secretory activity. Now the last one, the intestinal phase. Presence of low pH and partially digested foods in the duodenum as stomach empties causes intestinal gastrin releases into the blood and causes stimulation of stomach secretory activity. And in the other hand, the distension of duodenum, presence of fatty acidic, hypertonic chyme or irritants causes three reflexes to activate: the local reflex, the pyloric sphincter, and the vagal nuclei in medulla. That causes enterogastrin reflex and inhibits stomach secretory activity. And also the distension, the presence of fatty acidic and partially digested food in stomach releases intestinal hormone like secretin, gastrin, inhibitory peptide, cholecystokinin, VIP, causes inhibition of stomach secretory activity. So that's all for today. If you find this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you have any queries, please comment below, or you can also send your queries to our Gmail account. Please share this video, and if you are new on our channel, please subscribe it and turn on the bell icon for further future notification. The second part of the stomach activities, the function of stomach, applied aspects and the physiology of gastric motility will be discussed on the next Monday. Thank you.